Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Kate and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Court. Welcome to Kate and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Readers.
This is a podcast for lovers of romance and romantasy novels who want to go on a deep dive into their favorite genre. Honest discussions and salacious details, giving romance books the respect they deserve. We are two friends, actors, moms, and romance readers who like a bit of spice and everything nice in their books.
As we like to say, you don't need spice for a book to be good. Well, you don't need running shoes to run, but they sure do help.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. We are back with you. And we're both laughing because today we are actually re-recording an episode about A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, because we recorded an episode already. And, we should have known that we were going to have to do this because I think we were about halfway through and neither of us could remember Asriel's name.
I know, I know in my day-to-day life, just in that moment,
it was
blanked.
Total blank. Exactly.
Yes.
And then we were like, I think we got it. And then Court was like, oh, I just did a little bit more of a reread. We missed so many details about the gang, the friends.
Everything.
Anyways. And so I was like, okay, we'll re-record it. We'll get more details because as I was just saying to Court right before we started recording, this is kind of a seminal work of romantasy. We got to give
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said to Kate. I'm like, I'm actually embarrassed as myself being a romantic expert with how many details I forgot. Because I've read it multiple times, but I hadn't just reread it. And then so I did. And I'm so glad I did because, again, you can jump back into these anytime. It's just such a fun ride. But I wasn't ready to give the I didn't want to give the little overview of it. I wanted to give the details for you all to listen to because it's so delicious and so worth diving back into.
Because there are so many details in each book, and it's interesting because we started the first podcast last week about ACOTAR, and I was like, the first 4 chapters felt kind of thin world building, we're in this human whatever, and then you realize, and Court made such a great point. She's like, that's because we're in the human world, and the Fae see it as that. As you go along, you realize, and as you dive further into this series, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and so multi-layered and so much fun, and so many characters that you fall in love with that you want to know more about them. Anyway, it's delightful.
Yes.
So we're taking another crack at book 2 in ACOTAR, also known as, we're texting each other back and forth, just trying to be fast, the green one.
It's true. The Court of Mist and Fury and the Court of Ruin and Wrath. Is that what the third one?
Wings and Ruin.
That's my point. I can never keep all the actual names correct other than A Court of Thorn and Roses. They all kind of, I just know the color.
Exactly. But I think that's true for everyone. I think that's why everyone just goes ACOTAR, blanket statement for the entire series, and then we just, and each book is so amazing, but they kind of, I think the first 3 kind of tell a certain section of the story, and you could stop there, and we'll go further into that when we do the third book, and then it carries on further into the world, should you want to, and at this point, we want to.
Oh, you want to. You should. It's worth it. But so I don't say any spoilers because I'm bad at that. We won't talk about it. Yes. I don't trust myself. Yes.
It's hard. That's why we have to reach, because you kind of start to be like, wait, did that happen in book 2 or book 3?
Exactly.
Or did that happen in book, there's a lot. There's a lot. And I've sort of seen things floating around out there that there's this theory about Sarah J. Maas books, I guess, in the last 100 pages.
Well, this is a pattern that happens. There's quite a few books that the first one, 3 series, each of them, the last 100 pages really gets you going.
Whoa.
And you're in.
And then you kind of finish and you're sort of like, what just happened?
I know. I tried it. Whenever I see people buying the series, if they're just buying book 1, I try to be like, you should really just get book 2 now. Because you're going to want to dive right in. You're not going to want to break. You're going to be like, what? And need to know the next.
That's what's so wild. This is this takes you away from your reality. This takes you away from your family. You get really mad when they interrupt you for food or just survival needs
Oh yes,
while
it's
you're
not
reading
great
it.
for my anger. Like I really like you don't understand where I am right now, and like I don't care
Yeah.
that you want another
Myself,
drink. Like I just
right?
let me figure out what's happening. Let me finish this chapter because you're so
Exactly.
immersed and
So
there's so much
immersed.
happening and you're like
Yeah.
on the edge of your seat and then you're like, wait, what? When they bring you back to reality, you're angry
Yeah.
at them for it because you don't want
You
to
really
leave.
are.
Yes.
Like it'll be like I love to get up and read on Sunday mornings. Like not like I like to just like lay in bed and read. And I mean, we're always up. I'm always up early. We're early risers in our house. My husband and my son are both morning people. So, you
Yeah.
know, I'm just like dragged along to survive. Ideally, I'd be a night person and I would be up until at least 9 in. But ever since having Beckett, I have been awake. So for the last decade, I've been up by like 6 is the latest I get to
I
sleep in.
can't even.
But
Every time
but
I wake up
so
at 6, I'm like, why am I awake? What is happening?
So I like to read first thing on Sundays. So I'm like, we don't have to
Yeah.
race off anywhere. And I'll just be like curling and reading my book and like having a good time. And then all of a sudden, like X will come in and it'll be like 9 in. He's like, Mom, I'm starving. And I'm like, you've been playing with your dad. He hasn't fed you.
I know that.
Why do you need me right now? I'm very involved in a Fae battle scene. Like I can't
Yeah.
help you.
Go check the cupboard. See what you come out with.
Honestly,
try,
he's like, does that
and
mean
we'll
I
see.
can have candy? Fine.
If it's a really spicy part, yes, and ice cream.
Exactly. Just stay away.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So without further ado,
I
Court
did
is
want
gonna.
to say it's the worst when they remind you of like a shortcoming of your spouse because when you're in the middle of the fantasy and you're reading it, you
Yeah.
also have your spouse up on a pedestal for those few
You
minutes.
do.
So when the reality comes crashing in, you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
right.
didn't feed the kid.
Let's
Damn it.
Okay, but yes, jumping in back to our what we call reality but isn't, back to the book.
I know it's true.
I was
We
about
really
to refer
do.
to that as reality and get out of our real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a day. Okay. So, at court, I'm going to say the wrong thing. Mist and Fury, correct? Thank
Yes.
you. There's the book. Okay, the second book. So, we come back 3 months post them killing, I keep saying Amaranth, but I think it's Amarantha. Amarantha. Thank you. I realized it when I was reading. Also, side note, because I heard our last episode, I kept calling it calamari. It's just calamari. I went for the appetizer.
I know.
And now I'm back. I guess saying calamari. I heard it. I'm like, oh my goodness, Courtney, calamari. Which is the party.
Every time you were saying it, I was like, I really want some calamari.
Right? We both represent a good time. Calamari is when you're having an easy night. When you're ordering the calamari appetizer, you're there for fun and drinks going. So
You are. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I think she's pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. We'll just go with
it. It was just like my brain just went to the word association of calamari.
Yeah.
But no, it's calamari. Anyways, this is 3 months post them destroying her, post Farah being back in the spring court with Tamlin.
And she's been 3 months Fae now as
3 months Fae in her new Fae body.
Yeah.
So, and she is not doing well. She is having a very hard time coping, killing the 2 Fae at the end of her test with them. Her third task was killing 3 people. The last one happened to be Tamlin that she stabbed in the heart because it was made of stone. But killing the other 2 really destroyed her. It's really against everything. She's a kind person.
Yeah. Quick time out here. I mean, kind person, bitch,
any person,
whatever.
Human.
Anyone, if you kill like another living thing, right? So, and this happens all the time too. Like she killed 2 Fae. So she didn't kill people, but like,
but
they look like people. They're humanoid. We often we're going to call them people. We're going to call them Fae. We're going to call them male, man, whatever. But I think killing like something that is an intelligent, sentient, like being, that's going to leave an impact on you.
It is, but she's in a world where this is happening all around her, right? Everyone is constantly
violent.
Killing people. She's watching Rhys do it and have to kill a man in front of her, the guy from Summer Court. She's watched Tamlin like seeing people get killed, as it's been hard for her, and we've read that all along, but we have just been in this like violent world where it almost
Yes.
seemed like the norm because most people around here didn't
That's like
care.
what I'm saying. It's like, it's so weird because it's so normalized as you're reading the book. Then she's suddenly like struggling at the beginning of this one. And there was a part of me that was like, girl, get it together. And then if you think about it, I'm like, if I had killed 2 people, basically, like I would be pretty
Yes.
fucked up.
I mean, she saved the Surile too. Like she freed him, which most people
Yeah.
wouldn't do. And she's already done these things. She's proven she's different. She's, as they say, she's an immortal with a mortal heart. Because
Yeah.
us as mortals and in real life too, we only get this like maybe 100 years if you're extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Likely like 80, 85. Like this is it. And we know that.
Mhm.
And then the author's putting her in this world where they live for like thousands of years or 500. So
Yeah.
like, until in life, it's just they do care, but not all of them care the same way. And
Yeah.
she does. And so she's in PTS, not to mention, aside from the fact she killed 2 innocent Fae, and one even knew and like told her, like, kill me now, don't let me go back as their prisoner, like gave her permission to do it. But aside from the fact she's reeling from that, also just what she went through under there. She was tortured.
Yeah.
She was kept in a dark, freezing cold cell, like everything she had to see. She's not doing well. Her and Tamlin, he knows she's not doing well, but he is not talking about it. It is just like brushing it under the rug. They sleep in her room. She hasn't gone to his quarters yet. They sleep in her room, and every night she wakes up puking her guts out because she's having these nightmares. And he never talks to her about it. He also has nightmares sometimes and ends up like curling up on the end of the bed in his beast form, protecting her.
Yeah.
They're still like intimate together. That bond is still there, but they're not talking about what happened. And he is like become super protective mode.
Yeah, and she even talks about how, like, one time she goes back into the bed and she's like, she almost can't tell. She's like, does he know that I'm getting up and vomiting every night and pretending to stay asleep? She kind of has this feeling like he's
she's not
avoiding.
sure. She's like, his breathing sounds the same, but she's not sure if he's, fully aware or not. But whatever, regardless, it's not being talked about.
Yeah.
So the 3 months in, they're now engaged. She talks about when he proposed out in this field. And he really seems to be having this habit of like being there and super about her and then disappearing. And there and about her and disappearing. And she has Ianth now, who's this high priestess who came to stay with them after they came back from under the mountain, who apparently just like fled when Amarantha took over and is now like reappeared and has become her constant companion and friend. And like she listens to her, trusts her. She's taking on everything to do with the high court and what they should be doing. And she's taken on the wedding planning. And Vera, for right now, is happy to let her do it because she's a shell of herself and has no interest in helping, in doing anything. So the only thing she says is like, I don't want red flowers, basically. And this has been going on, and she's getting worse. And Tamlin is like not letting her out of his sight, not letting her leave the ground. She has to have guards around her all the time. And she's starting to tell him like, I need to do something. Please just let me do something. And he's ignoring her. They get to the wedding day. And she's in this horrible poofy dress that she hated from the get-go. Even Tamlin like laughed when he saw it, but was like, Ianth knows best. And Ianth's like, this is the best to appease all the courts and all these people. And she's like, it's like an ugly Princess Diana dress. Like it's a horrible version of that dress, essentially.
Yeah.
And she's in it. And then
listen, the Princess Di dress was hot at the time, but like doesn't age well. Like, it's just
no, but if anyone can pull it off, she did. But this is like a worse version of that, essentially.
Yeah.
So she's in this dress she hates. She's looking out at this wedding. And of course, Ian put red roses in it anyways. And that seems to be like her meltdown. And she's begging for someone to save her from this wedding. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to walk up there. She looks up at Tamlin. She's literally walking down the aisle. And Ian like sees her and she hesitates. And they're like, come to your lord who will be here for you forever. And she's like, pause and is about to say no when all of a sudden Riesland shows up. Riesland who was with her all under the mountain and used her to, paint her up and party and basically torture Tamlin, but then fought for her at the end. He shows up, finally calling in their bond. It's been 3 months and they hadn't heard from him. Yeah. And he's there and he's like, I'm here for my bond. And Tamlin's like, no, you can't. And he's like, actually, I can. And then Tamlin's like, at least let me, marry her first. Let us have the ceremony and then take her for the week that she has promised you. And he's like, I think your wedding's over. Even the priestess is like disappeared at that point. And he even says, like, and right, Farah, I think she was about to say no. Like he points out that she was about to say no.
Yeah.
And Tamlin knows he can't do anything about it. So even though she does say, like, don't let him take me, but Tamlin is like, I have to.
Well, because of the bond, the tattoo on her hand, like the
Yes.
deal basically she made, essentially the deal she made
No
with
one
the
can
devil
stop
when
him.
she was under the mountain. There's nothing that can be
Yeah,
done.
there's
If
nothing
they
can be
break the
done.
bond, someone dies, like, so
Yeah.
she has to go.
And part of it, she's terrified because she still believes all the things she's heard about Riesling of being the
Yeah.
Lord of Court of Nightmares. She knows that Under the Mountain was fastened after the Court of Nightmares, and she doesn't want to go back underground. She doesn't want to go back to the dark. She's terrified
Yeah.
of darkness since coming back. Riesling takes her, and then they arrive at what we learn as the House of Wind, which is this like beautiful open house on the side of a mountain with this like wintry landscape, beautiful skies, but is like the perfect temperature, even though it should be freezing
Yeah.
cold based on what's outside. It's this
I
gorgeous
mean, it's
open marble
amazing.
house.
Like, it
Amazing.
sounds
Like the
like
most
reading
amazing
about
thing.
it is so magical, and it's hard almost to like really get the vision of it in your brain. Like for me, I was reading it, I was like, this is extraordinary. I kept being like, there's no walls, but it's warm. And I'm like, how? And I was
It's
like, oh, I
insane.
love this. Like, I'm like, oh, we're
Yeah.
really in another world. It was really, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
of you with your house porn, and I was like, this should check those
Yeah.
boxes. Although it's
Oh,
like
did it ever?
a whole other place. But so he brings her there, and she is like shocked. Where are we? What is this? And he kind of explains it's this house in the mountain. How is the temperature like this? I don't know. People before me made it this way. I don't know why they carved it here, but this is one of my house, and I have another one in the city. And basically he's like, you're here. You are free to go wherever you want in this house. You're not slave to me. Like, just come for dinner at some point. And she's like shocked. She expected to be somewhere else. She's kind of taking it all in. She's still in her wedding dress, and he's like, go rest. We'll talk later, essentially, in her room. And she can't resist like the idea of a bath and like getting this wedding dress off, doing anything. So she does, and then she gets into like night clothes and comes for dinner because she assumes she has to. And she can kind of feel his bond tugging her, like forcing her to come to the dinner table. And so she comes, and and she meets Moore, who is Reese's cousin, for lack of a better term, introducing her. And Moore is so excited to meet her and overwhelming her, and there's very like standoffish, and he's like, just ignore her, she's there. And they kind of like banter, and that's her first meeting of Moore and her first kind of feel for like what this place is. And she's so confused because she's just expecting it to be nightmares the entire time. And then the next day they're there, and basically says, while you're here, what I'm going to do is you're going to learn to read and write and practice your shields. And she has nothing else better to do. So essentially like, why not? I can tell you more why it serves my purpose, but you need to learn to read and write and do your shields. And he teaches her how. And so that is literally what she does that first week. She's just shields up and down, reading and writing. He's making her write things like, Riesling is so gorgeous. Riesling's like the best person to ever exist. But generally kind of leaves her alone. He tells her like, if you're ever open to working with me or coming, there's a lot happening. There's more at stake than the war, but like you can't give her any details, essentially. Let's go back home. She's so excited to see Tamlin, like rushes into her arms. Lucien sees her first, brings her Tamlin, it's a big hug. And she's expecting, basically she wants to like go to bed. Like she wants to lose herself. Sex is the one thing she can escape into. Like that's still her place that she can forget everything that happened. And he's like, we need to talk this through and interrogate. She's like, surely it can be
He's
after.
like, I want to know everything that happened with Riesen and all this stuff. She's like, but can't we like go fuck first? Like, aren't you excited to see me? Let's,
like literally
have a loving
like,
reconnection.
after, let's wait. And he's like, no, now. And she's so like kind of shocked by it and kind of goes back to the numb. And him and Lucien literally like interrogate her and get her to tell her every little thing. And she ends up going, and then he's off having meetings about that with Ianth and Tamlin, leaving her out. So she goes back to bed alone. And it's in like a state of shock. Like she can't believe that's how he responded to her coming back and shutting it down. Like it's just insane.
It sucks. Even as a reader, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and also like at this point for sure, but before this, pretty much right when she showed up, I was like, Ianth, no. Like, I do not trust this bitch.
No, we've never liked her. Never. There's no moment of liking Ianth. We know she's up to dirty. She's getting her hands way too in the closet, advising Tamlin too much, advising Farah too much. Like, there's something about her
like,
that we don't trust.
Exactly. And she like pretends to be like Farah's girlfriend, but like doesn't listen to any of her requests, about
no,
the
it's
wedding
still her
stuff.
way.
There's something so off there. Yeah.
Yes. She's very much, there's something wrong with this woman. But she's there. And that keeps making Farah feel more isolated as well. And what they'll talk about. And there was a moment before the wedding even when Farah's like, what will they call me? Like feeling like, will I be high lady or high lady? She's like, and he's like, no, there is no high lady.
There are no high ladies.
There are no high ladies.
Ever been. And there's that moment. And then she's she has this thing where she goes, "Oh, I'm so relieved that I won't ever be like his high lady, his equal." Like, she actually thinks that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then as she thinks it, she sort of has this thing where she says, she's like, and then something like deep within me sort of like recoils or growls at that idea. But that's what
Yeah.
she's thinking at the time because she's just so like totally in true post-traumatic distress,
Yes.
she's very much so like, I just a shell of herself, like doesn't want to be anything. But there's a
Yeah.
part of herself that knows like this is not for
Yeah.
me, that's not my real future. And it's interesting because it's like little nuggets that you're being given at this point, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. There's something happening. So they're back, and then he's like keeps encouraging her with gifts and like to paint and do things. And she's not interested. That's like the last thing she wants to do. All she sees with paint is blood, and like that part of her is
Mhm.
not there. And she keeps begging him, like, "Let me do something. Let me do something. You take I like I need," and he's like, "You're here. You're safe. You're my," and she's like, "No." And he's fighting against his power to want to like protect her. And it comes to an argument, and he blasts his anger out, and she ends up
Mhm.
shielding herself without
Mhm.
realizing it. And he can't get through it, and then he begs, and she's, like, so upset because if she didn't shield herself, she would've been really hurt because he lost
Yeah.
his temper, and he's like, "I'm trying," and, like, it breaks something in her, but it breaks something, and he agrees to try to, like, do better, and he, like, lessens
Yeah.
the amount of sentries on her, lessens, like, his hold and lets her explore a little bit more, trying to find something, but he even said, like, he's trying, but, like, it fights everything in him, like, his need is to protect and just have her and wants her just to be happy being in the castle, but he's trying to help her. She's getting a little bit Lucian takes her to, like, meet some of the people, but they're like, "We don't need your help." Like, they're trying to show her, like, there's nothing for you to do here, but just, like, be in the
Mhm.
castle and plan parties and whatever.
Yeah.
So, they get to that point, and then, she hears Reese and Tamlin arguing in the hallway, and she goes out there, and he's like, "Leave, you have to leave now," and he's like, "Nope, I don't think I will. Farrah, it's time to go." And he looks at Farrah, and Reese's first reaction is like, "Do you not have any food here?" Like, he's just shocked to see
Mhm.
how much weight she's lost again since the last time he saw her last month, and,
Yeah.
like, how much she's deteriorated. And Tamlin kinda looks at her and just looks back, and it's like, "Anything, name your price. I'll give you anything you want to break this bond." And
Mhm.
he's like, "Nope, I've got everything I want. There, let's go." Takes her
Yeah.
again. That time, he, like, lets her be. He's like, "Here's what you're going to do. You're gonna do the read, the shielding, doing it," and, like, basically leaves her on her own, lets her have that time to, like, just work on that stuff, be in the house to keep her away from Tamlin and keep her fed, but
Yeah.
not bother her. But she
Mhm.
has shown him at one point that she has extra strength. She threw a shoe at him, and it hit him in the head, and he was shocked by it, and he's like,
And
"Interesting." And he
at one of the meals, she, like, bent, like, a piece of metal in half, like, easily, and he was like,
Yeah, on the same time that she had, like, thrown the shoe, and then she'd gotten angry
yeah.
and done it, and he, like, has encouraged her, like, "Maybe you should try training those gifts." But when she brought it up to Tamlin and Lucy, and it was, like, shut down so hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it makes you liability, it makes you liability." Anyways, this time she goes back after the week, is ready to go back, and she can see in Tamlin's face, like, any of the stuff he had done before, any of the loosening of the reins, all that's gone. He's, like,
Yeah.
in more super protective mode than he ever was before. He's just got her, the
Mhm.
sentries are back, she's not allowed to go anywhere, he's insane. He goes off for days at a time, comes back, and just, like, meets her in the bedroom, but that's it. They really don't
Mhm.
have a relationship, have a talking. Anytime it's brought up, she keeps pushing Lucy to, like, try to talk to him, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm trying, you don't understand how hard it's been for him," and, like, having his powers back, like, he's not you just gotta give him time. Give him time. Like, Lucian keeps saying he's gonna try for Farrah, but also, like, try to give Tamlin a break. He needs this right now. He needs us to, like, follow his
Yeah.
orders and let him feel, like, powerful again.
You just get
Which
this sense that, like, Lucian's not on Farrah's side. Do you know what I mean? He's like that friend, like, if you're having problems with a boyfriend or whatever, and you go to the boyfriend's friend, and then you sort of realize, like, okay, like, your loyalty, like, Lucian's
yeah,
loyalty is
he
to
has a
him.
clear line of loyalty. Like,
Yeah.
he'll go to bat for a little bit, but he's still always gonna bow to Tamlin. Like, and he's
Yes.
letting it happen because Lucian can see what's happening in Farrah. He can
Yeah.
see how she's being destroyed, and that's why he keeps
Yeah.
saying, "I'll try, I'll try." And he tries to talk to Tamlin to, like, let her have her to train her powers. Like, it might help her to train a little bit. And Tamlin's like, "Absolutely not." Because Ianth says, like, "No, imagine what they'll think. She's gonna have your
Mhm.
children. It'll put targets on your children if people know how powerful she is." And their point is, like, she's powerful whether we train her or not, but at least then she's like, then I could defend myself. Like, and they're
Yeah.
like, it would send a bad message. It would look like you're going to war if you start training her. If people found out you're training her, it'll send a bad message. And Tamlin listens and is like, "No, we're not training. Like, you are not doing this. You're staying here. Just be happy." And even says, like, "Why can't you just paint and, like, be happy and dance like you did before? Why can't you just be that woman that before
Mhm.
under the mountain. She's like, that woman died. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not that
That
girl
woman actually
anymore.
literally died, and then she's being
Literally, and
reborn
came
as
back.
someone else. Yeah.
Yes. And then he's
Which
going out. There's some kind of battle at the border. And
Mhm.
they're going, she's like, let me come, let me come. I'm strong. And he's like, absolutely not. You're not going near danger. And she's like, please, like, I'm begging you for my life. Like, let me come. I can't stay here. Like, I can't do this. I am dying. Like, you are killing me.
Mhm.
Please let me come. And he's like, no. She's like, I will. And he's like, you will not. And then he sets a shield on the house that locks her in. And then
Yeah.
she's losing. She looks to Lucy and like, you can't do. He's like, it'll be okay. Just like give him time. Like, we won't be gone for long, even though it'll be days. Like, just stay in the
Yeah.
house, like, which she's locked into. And then she loses it. Like, this is her
Yeah.
nightmare, being locked anywhere from being the self, everything going on. She was at her wit's end. Darkness, power, everything swirls around her. Her ring melts off her finger. And all of a sudden, a
Mhm.
Moor appears. And all she hears is her, what did you say your name was? Asil? Asil, her, like, the lady maid that's been tending to her, just says to Moor, like, take care of her,
Yes.
treat her kindly.
Yeah.
And Moor carries her out of the house, carries
Yeah.
her through the courtyard where guys are, like, passed out, and then takes her into the tunnels and comes up in the court of Autumn where Reese is. And all she does,
Mhm.
she hands her to Reese. And this is through Farrah's point of view. All she hears is like, did you do it? And she's like, everything by the book. I knocked the guards out myself, walked in, broke the shield myself, walked in, got her. We did it all by the book. And Reese just says, good. And then they winnow away and appear again in the night court.
Yeah.
That's like the first like little part
It's like the
one
first
of this book.
little section. And I think it's very interesting how, like, on the kind of like reperusal that I gave, so I would have like a bit of a better idea, even though I read these very recently, but it's still all
Still,
meld
there's
together.
so much.
But the whole thing that goes on with Tamlin with his like lashing out at her and then being like, I'm so sorry, I won't do that again. And then the like controlling all of her movements and everything. I mean, it's an abusive relationship. Like that is the
It is
pattern that it
disgusting.
follows. And I love the way that it's written here because you can see how it could happen to anyone. Like there's
Yeah.
no failing of a person if you find yourself in an abusive relationship. Like that's how easily it can happen, how
Mhm.
easily it goes from like wonderful to sideways. And as much as Tamlin's like, I'm working on this and all these other things. And it's like, well, then guess what, bro? You need time on your own to like work your shit out. And she needs like her space. Like you're not ready.
Yeah, but he wasn't working. That's the thing. He worked for her until he got her. And then he was
Yeah,
just like, no, I'm the High Lord now. You are going to be my
exactly.
wife and you will just be happy. Like,
Yeah.
be
And
happy with this, be in this
that's the
house,
way,
and that's it.
yeah,
I know
and
what's
that would be it.
best.
That would be it forever. Like that would be
Yeah.
like the end of the line. Like she would be planning parties and painting and like just sort of like basically for someone like her given a lobotomy,
Well, because he
Like,
could already see that she was unhappy. I mean, it was such a physical transformation that it
yeah.
would have been obvious to Tamlin, and he ignored it. Like, because
Yeah.
I have to say, my first read through on this, when she's looking back and like going back through her things with Tamlin, I didn't see him quite as level of a villain as he ends up painted. Like how
Mhm.
awful and how much they hated him, and like that he's really is this I didn't quite get that my first read through. And then
Yeah.
different times reading it, and even this time again, like really picking up how much he truly did ignore her and her look
Yeah.
compared to like Reese. And we
Yeah.
in this little time that she's had with Reese, these little weeks, like we're really starting to see the guy underneath it all, like the one that
Hmm.
truly just cares and like wants to take any weaknesses she has and like boister them up and make her filled with power and wants her to
Yeah.
live to like her strongest self. And like notices all the details that Tamlin isn't and cares about all these
Yes.
things that Tamlin isn't, while also caring about her choices and what she
Mhm.
wants. Like if she still wants to be a Tamlin and live in that world, he would absolutely do it. He
Yeah.
sends her back every time. He gives her the free will. And so when they get to the house, that's kind of the first question. She's like, well, when do I have to go back? And he's like, you're here. This isn't part of our bond. Like, so you are free to come or go back whenever you wish. You just have to tell us. Like,
Mhm.
this is it kind of thing. And it kind of starts right away with him going, like he's talking to her and kind of letting her know a little bit more. And he tells her, like, listen, there's a war coming with the King Hybrid. We were 500 years ago. Like Amarantha was just his, like one pieces of his minion that he sent here to get a lay of the
Yeah.
land. And then she cast a spell of his book on her own volition. And he like let that happen basically for the last 50 years, but he's been readying to come here. And I think
Mhm.
he's searching for something that something's happening and we got to find out what and why. And he showed her like a map, and there were still some like empty things on the map, but he was like showing her some of the world because she didn't know Corinthia. She doesn't know anything. And she'd find
Mhm.
herself wanting to ask questions that normally she would just be waiting for him to shut down like Tamlin would. But Reese actually gave her answers.
Yeah.
And finally, he's like, I have to leave. After she was like, I have to go to my house in the city. And she's like, please take me with you. And he's like,
Mhm.
okay, but if I do, and this has been a couple days here that she's kind of eating, kind of
Yeah.
getting, he's like, if I take you with me, this is it. Like, you can never tell anyone what you see here. And she
Mhm.
knows he means Tamlin, like with how much she was interrogated every time she came back. Like, she knows this is her first step to really making a choice. Because if
Yeah.
she agrees to go see this, like she is saying that she um will not bring this back to Tamlin, which is like a
Yeah.
big thing for her.
Yeah.
So she agrees. And he's like, takes her to this house. It's this townhouse, but it feels like a home. Like it's a
Yeah.
home in a city that she's like, what is this place? She can just feel the difference. Like this is
It
is
is
his
like
home.
yeah, it is like a beautiful I just picture like the most perfect, gorgeous, like, someone who gets to own the entire brownstone, which
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
huge
Yeah.
inside. They look so small from the outside, and you go on the inside, and you're like, this is ginormous. And
Yes.
just like so like all the beautiful details, but also still has the feeling of being an actual home. It's
Yeah.
not a giant manor. It's cozy,
Yeah.
which
It's
is like
cozy.
yeah.
And then there's someone like banging on the door right away. And he's
Yeah.
like, they're like, Rex, let us in. Like, we're here for breakfast. And so I was like, why are we awake right now? And they're just arguing and having banter. And we don't know who they are, but he's like, if you don't want to meet these like children out here that I'm going to beat
Yeah.
senseless for not having manners, like go up and rest. You can meet them later. And she decides, like, okay, I'm not ready yet. We can hear them talk. We can
Yeah.
tell there's some kind of relationship with him and these people. And he's like, it's my inner circle.
Mhm.
Can't say much, but like we can hear them all and can tell they're like, they have a loving relationship.
Mhm.
So Vera decides to go and sleep and not meet them yet. And Reese goes. Later, she wakes up. Lee's like, let me come show you the city. And it's daytime. Like they're walking around the city in the daytime the first time. And she's like, how can this exist? Like, how is this world here? And he said,
Yeah.
when Emerald came and put the spell on everyone, she left him with a bit more magic than everyone else. And he used that to hide the city of Valaris and all of his inner circle from everyone, literally
Mhm.
everyone under the mountain in the world. Like he sent his magic out, and he's like, if she'd ask questions, they'd suddenly like forget, or their mind would be destroyed, or like he used
Mhm.
his what is he called?
Demite?
Demighty
Yeah.
powers to control his brain so that she would never find out about his inner circle or this city. It was like he only had time and a split second decisions to protect one thing, and he
Yeah.
protected this city. And at first she's pissed about it. She's like, how did they get
Yeah.
to like
They didn't
survive and not have to have war? Like, why do they get deserve to like be spared than anyone else?
Mhm.
And he explains like, I had to make really quick decisions really fast, and he basically made himself Amarantha's whore for 50 years to like distract her and keep her from ever looking for them. Like he did it for
Yeah.
them, thinking he'd never be back here. And she kind of gets it. She's like, it is beautiful. It is like the best. Valaris is the most beautiful city you'll ever go to. Like all the descriptions of it,
Yeah.
and the art and the buildings and the culture and the people. But there's still a part of her like, yeah, nice for you. Like I just got tortured and
Yeah.
went through all of this, and cool, you guys got to hang out here.
Yeah.
But they do the walk, and she's starting to understand, starting to see a little bit more about Reese, get a feel for that. And then he's like, next time we'll have to go for a walk in the evening because it truly is as beautiful as in the day. Like it's meant to be seen at night because it is the court of
Mhm.
nightmares, of course, or the court of dreams.
Yeah.
So, and she explains that the underground, like the night court that she saw is actually the city of Hune, it's called, and it is still there and run by people of his court and still very much exists. But that's the court that they show the outside world. That's what
Yeah.
everyone thinks the court of nightmares is. And they leave
Mhm.
this one separate, and it's always
Yeah.
been that
And
way.
that's a power play move. Like that's like if you
Yeah.
think we're so terrifying, you'll leave us alone, you won't come anywhere near us
Yeah.
and to protect the actual like good part of their
Yes,
world.
because once upon a time, the whole place was like City Pune, and then people, many, many High Lords before Reese, changed that and built this
Mhm.
world for dreamers, and then kept that one there. And yeah, as a power move, so they wouldn't be seen vulnerable, kept it hidden. Then people have just put wards and spells over the years and generations and
Yeah.
centuries to keep it hidden.
Yeah, kinda
So
like to protect the world of dreams,
yeah,
the world of nightmares is the shield that protects the world of dreams.
exactly. And then he basically says, like, I want you to come work for me. I want you to use these powers um, to help us find a cauldron, something that may be made. And if you will, come work with us. Like, I'll put you on my staff. You can be part of the team. Come meet my inner circle tonight for dinner and think about it. Like, there's no pressure. The second you want to leave, the second you wish to go back to Spring or to wherever you want, or you just want to live here and have nothing to do with us, like anything you want, you can do. But come meet my inner circle and see what you think. So she agrees, and they go up to have dinner at the House of Wind. And this is when we properly meet Azriel, Cassian, and Amren, and more, who we've already met. His inner circle, who we heard behind the door. And they're just instantly, like, she gets there and she sees these huge Illyrian warriors with their huge wings, bulking muscles, like the same size, even bigger than Rhys. By all means, are just like the most gorgeous men descriptors you could ever have. Dark hair, tattoos, just like these. And their first thing there is like, Cassian's just like, we won't bite. Like, just to rip the ice of these huge men. Like, they are imposing and gorgeous and sexy, but then have the most playful personalities instantly. Like, instantly warm to her, instantly in their banter between Mor and them and drinks and Amren. Like, she can tell there's a camaraderie here, and she sees that side of Rhys. Like, this is when he lets himself down. This is his true family.
Yeah.
And how close they all are to each other. And they kind of tiptoe around her, but some won't, some do. And Amren, who she learns is from another realm, like thousands of years old, another being, Rhys kind of warns her about her. Like, he's like, I've merely interrupted her once in my 500 years of knowing her. And even that I did with caution. Like, she is not someone to mess with, essentially.
No.
And she meets her and she can tell that. But Amren can also sense on her, like, oh, you are other as well. Now there are two of us. Like, we are both made. We are something different. You were remade, reborn into something. You're not of this world or the other. And that's like Amren. She's been put into this body, but it's not what she is. She's in a human-looking body, but her essence is something else. So she decides, she has dinner, gets to know them, and she's like, okay, I'm in. And they're all like surprised, like they didn't realize they were like being interviewed, essentially, being put out there. But she's like, okay, I'll work with you. And the first thing is they need to go see the bone carver and find out and ask what's happening with the cauldron. If the king is indeed trying to put, or why? Oh, because all these priestess, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they all live, the priestesses, they're like their congregations, not congregations.
Oh,
temples.
yeah. It's where Ianth comes, where Ianth is one
the
of
different
them.
temples have been being ransacked. That's what they've been working on.
Yes.
They've been interviewing them all, trying to figure out what someone's looking for. So they're going to go see the bone carver who's in the prison, which is like
the Night Court. Yeah.
Yeah, of Corinthia, but it's kept in the Night Court.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So, and Amren, that's where Amren came from. She was there for like thousands of years. And we let her out. So Farrah obviously is terrified to go in there and terrified to go in the dark. And then Amren has this moment that she gives her.
Rightfully so.
Well,
I mean, this place is like
the worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst. Yeah.
Like beyond human comprehension of the worst are kept in here. And once the prison is its own entity, and once someone enters the prison, like you can't come out. It keeps you forever. And Rhys says that, like,
all the monsters you are
all the monsters in your nightmares are in this prison.
Yeah.
Amren gives her a necklace and is like, wear this necklace. It's what got me out. They can't keep you there. And it like bolsters Farrah that like, okay, I can go. I can do this. She goes with Rhys. They go down there. He warns her, like, the bone carver will appear something to you and something to me. Farrah sees this little boy with blue eyes, black hair. Like, that's actually what she sees. She doesn't know what Rhys sees.
Which is so creepy. Why are, like, creepy kids are so creepy? It's so creepy.
Kids.
Yeah.
And so Rhys gives him a bone. It's from the one that killed the Ironworm, whatever it's called, that she killed in the first book. And she's like, I didn't even see him keep that bone. Like, how did he even know that he would need it then? Like, she's just kind of confused, but anyways, gives it to him. And the boy's obsessed with Farrah because they're like, he'll only talk to you because you're something new. He won't talk to Rhys. He won't talk to him. It had to be Farrah to go to talk to him. And he wants to know what it was like to die and what she saw. And if she saw a bright light, like trying to find out. He's like, it's been a long time since someone has come back from the dead. And he has all these questions. And she does explain that she was floating. She saw, and then she looked through Rhys's eyes and saw her dead body. She knew she was dead, but there was a bond, a tether. And she thinks it's from the bond that they had made that was tethering her to Rhys, and that she had a choice. She could go, and she's like, I don't know what it was, but I knew that I could fade into the darkness. I knew I could just fade away. I don't know if that would have been a white light or what that would have been, but it was something I could choose, or I could choose to fight and live. She knows that, and she chose to stay, and she says, like, she felt it from Rhys, and she chose to follow that tether, that bond to Rhys, to come back to her body. Like, that's the path she followed. And he lets them know, yes, there's a cauldron that once upon a time was broken into 3 pieces. It's the beginning of the end. It made and ends the world. It can't be destroyed, or else literally the world as we know it will also be destroyed. So it was just separated, broken into 3 pieces. But if someone tried to put those 3 pieces back together, the feet were broken off. That's what it was. The feet were broken off and put into 3 different places, because that way the cauldron existed, but it didn't have its full power.
Yeah.
So if someone found those 3 pieces and put them back, they could indeed use a cauldron for something as awful like taking down the wall, which is what he's basically alludes to is what King Hybern is doing. And he said, and
Yeah.
maybe, they went there because they wanted to know if it would be possible to resurrect a person based on body parts, because the eye and the finger of Jurian are gone. And they got the feeling that that's what he was trying to do, was resurrect Jurian. And I can't remember how they even got that note, but they figured out King Hybern's trying to bring back Jurian. So they went to the bone carver to find out, is it possible to bring back a human from that? And that's when he goes into about the cauldron. If someone had a cauldron, they could do that possibly with the cauldron. And then if someone did use the cauldron to test that, to see if it works, they would then need to let it rest and regain its power again before they could use it. So there'd be like a waiting period, which they are currently in. And then he tells them, you can't do anything against it. There's nothing you can do except if you can find a book that was said to have existed years and like millennia ago, that's in 2 pieces and was hidden in 2 different places. One was given to the queens of the human, and one is rested in the summer court. It tells them like where they are. And he said the only thing is like the human queens have to, the spell that was put on it, like they have to willingly give it to you. You can't steal it. You can't winnow in. They have to willingly give you this book. And the other one's in the summer court. Leave the bone carver, and that's me. They're like, okay, we need to reach out to the summer court, and we need to make a plan to see the queens. That's kind of what they come up with. And then Cassian's like, and you need to learn to fight, essentially, to Farah. And start training her. So slowly, like, while they're waiting to hear from the summer court, and they're waiting to hear from the queens, they make a plan, like they're going to have to go see Farah's sisters, go visit them in the human land to try to connect with the queens. It's kind of like their best option. And through all of this, like, Reese and Bear have kind of been like, their bond has been growing, their friendship, their kinship has been growing a bit. But they agree they're going to go see her sisters. So and in that, she like is like, Azriel will fly me, because she just like doesn't want to be that close with Reese or the guys or all of them, like surprising them all. But she's like, I'll go with him because and he's the hot like shadow slinger. So he flies her. They fly in. They land. She goes up to the sisters, and this is the first time she's revealing herself to be Fae to the sisters. They don't know that she's turned Fae. They answer it, and like the housekeeper can see it's her, but knows something's different, and is like wary of opening the door because humans are afraid of Fae. They always have been. Elaine sees her just crying her eyes. And I'm like, Farah. And then Nesta's on the top of the stairs and is like, what are you doing here? She comes in. She's like, I need to talk to you. And Nesta, of course, is just like stone faced and holding her sister's stare. So she tells them the whole story, brings in Reese and Gacian and Azriel to meet the sisters. And they are like, Nesta is like, we will have a meal and decide. Like, you can tell us what you're here for, basically. Like, let's do this. So they have dinner, and it's bland. Like, Farah's choking down the food because it's human food, and she's tasted fairy food, and it's not the same at all. And Nesta's like calling her out on him, being a bitch, basically. And finally, like, Reese has had
Which
enough.
is amazing because, like, Farah has done so much for them over the course.
Oh
like, the
my
only reason they
gosh.
have, like, any status back in the world is because of Farah. Like, all of it. And they're still both just, like, Elaine's, like, slightly scared of her, worshiping, you know, and like, is now, like, engaged to a guy who hates Faye. And then Nesta's just a total bitch all the time. Like, there's this thing with her
so
sisters where I'm like, I don't know why Farah keeps trying. But like,
I know.
but then that's also like true of family though, right? Like family dynamics
you do
are
it.
weird, and we, you know, keep trying to find a way. And eventually sometimes you kind of do break through, you know, and find a way, and if you're lucky. And then some families that's not the case. But I think it's so interesting how horrible her sisters are.
They really are. And like, especially Nesta, but true to Nesta, I mean, she stays that way for a very long time. We'll get to her later, but she is there. And yes, so Farah finds out Elaine is engaged. I thought it happened the first one, but it didn't. It happens now that Elaine's gotten engaged to this lord whose house is like this huge wall of concrete that like thinks he will kill every Fae, and is like, Fae are the enemy. Her engagement ring is made of iron. Like, she is now engaged to the enemy, basically. Her son's nice, as Nesta says, the son's nice enough, and the dad will die at some point. He's old, so like it'll be okay. But they're not going to be happy about you being Fae or being here. They can't know. And they pitch them
Yeah.
that they need their help. They need them to let them use their house to communicate with the queens because the world's going to end. And if Parenthea falls, human world also will end. Like everything, Hybern wants humans back as slaves. Like his number one
Yeah.
thing is like, take out the humans. So like, we need to do this and you need to do this. You won't survive.
Yeah, it's like, this is in
you
your
need our
best
help
interest.
too.
Like,
Yeah, essentially. And, and Ness is like, no, not here. Find someone else. Not going to do this for you, sister that did everything and literally died for us. Nope. and then Ortiz and Cassian and her immediately have a thing. Like they get under each other's skin and they're like, gonna fight for it. And Reese gives a big speech about like how she did die, all these things she did so that they could live. And like, forgive me if I can't sit here and listen to you talk about it when you guys did nothing, when you were a coward and your father and everyone was happy with her, dying for you. You can at least do this for
Which I love this trope in romance and romantasy where like the guy defends the girl to her family if they're nasty. Like it doesn't always happen, but
either or. I've also seen it when the woman defends a man to his family. That were awful.
Either or.
Like,
but
when the partner takes that step for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's when you become your partnership. Because you have your family and then you've chosen family and friends. But like when you truly do find that love and they're not there yet, but that partner, you are your own family now. And like that's a big change. And it's a change for everyone. And some adapt to it, some don't. It can cause bristling within families, but you now are who are supposed to have each other's back over anything and everything. And this is like a first representation of that when they have your back against your siblings. And you're not alone anymore. You're not alone in your family. Because no matter what, if you fight within your family unit, when you're fighting your family unit, you feel alone. And it's that first indication that you're not. Someone else is there with you.
Yeah.
And it's so great. And I agree. I love it. It's such a nice moment. And then Elaine, because she is still Elaine, like she's scared of them, but she's still sweet and like does care about Vera. She's just lost in her own world. But she's like, we can make it work. It's fine. It's fine. We will send the servants away whenever you need to come. We'll send everyone. We'll give them holidays. Dad's not going to be back. Father won't be back for months and months because he's gone somewhere. And like, this is fine. We will do this. We will make it work. We owe you for everything. Like, yes, we're going to do this. So they agree. They send everyone away. They all come in like, and they write the letters to the queen and they're waiting to see if they hear back or to send it. And they go, Reese and Farrah go and train in the woods. They're going to go train in the snow and like to see what her powers are to try to get her to do something. He puts like a candle there and is like, try to light this candle. Or does it. She's like, again. He's like, okay, I'm going to go. She's like, go away. I can't do it while you're watching me. He's like, okay, I'll go have breakfast. And he gets bored and he starts writing her a letter while she's out there training. Like, anything yet? I'm bored. I'm watching Cassian and Nesta like try to kill each other with their words. Yeah. He's like, as entertaining as it is, I don't want to be alone. I want you here. And they flirt in the letter more than they do in person. Whenever they're writing each other, they flirt. It's like a thing that keeps happening. But this is the first time. And then all of a sudden she's attacked by an Ator. Ator, that horrible guy that was under the mountain that beat the crap out of her and that brought her to Amarantha in the first place when they found her. Like, that's who's there and has her captured. And then in like a breath, Reese is there, darkness is there. They've got the Ator strapped around a tree. They're interrogated, like, what are you here for? And he's like, I'm here for her. King Hybern wants her. Like, he's going to get her. And basically he's like, okay, Azrael, take him, go find out, like, go interrogate him, torture him, find out all your info. Is gone. And then Farrah realizes, she's like, you knew he was going to come. And he said, I was curious who would try to steal you the first second they got, the first chance they had. I didn't know who would be, but I was curious and I would do it again because you were never safe. You were protected. And she loses it. She's like, do not use me as a pawn. If you want to train me into a weapon, use me as a weapon. Like, tell me, you don't get to like, the fact that someone was making a choice for her again, she loses it. She unleashes her power. She's trying to chase Reese. He's kind of laughing, running, and she manages to winnow for the first time, which is when you disappear from one spot and kind of like portal to another spot and launch on him. And he's laughing. And then he realizes how serious she is, like how mad she is that he did this to her. And he promises he would never do it again. But also she figures out how to winnow and use her powers. It's her first time like kind of finding them all, which is amazing. They leave, they go back. They're waiting to hear from the queens and from the summer court. And so they keep training. She's learning her powers and she decides to write a letter to Tamlin. Is the letter then or the letter after the summer court? I can't remember. I don't remember if she writes the letter before or after. It might be after when she hears about him going to war for her.
Yeah. It is after when she
or
hears
it
about
might be before. Because she fights Tamlin and punches through his pads and sorry. I literally just read this, but I'm like, okay. At
That's
some
okay.
point,
Let's
she
get to
decides.
this
But
summer
either way,
court.
so they
That's
go to
like
the
a
summer court. It's
smaller
going
deal.
to be Farrah and Amryn and Reese. And at this point, her and Reese have been writing a bit. They're a bit flirty, but nothing's past that. She's still like mourning her relationship with Tamlin, still having
Yeah.
flashes of seeing how dumb things were with him. Like when they start training her, she's like, won't it look bad if I start training? And then she realizes how ridiculous that even sounds out loud. And Moore is the one that's like, no, like I know what it's like to have had men try to diminish you and make you
Yeah.
like resent your powers and think that it's not enough. And she's like, and it's okay. And it's okay.
Mhm.
Don't feel stupid. Like I know what it is to be gaslit and it's okay. And no one here is
Yeah.
ever going to do that to you again.
Yeah.
Basically. So they go to summer court and she recognizes him immediately as the guy that was under the mountain when Reese was breaking his like cousin's mind and killed him.
Mhm.
And she also recognizes the power of Summer that she got from him when he like helped bring her back to life. She sees it. She's like calls to like. And she's like, does he recognize that I have his power or does he just like have some kind of sense of knowing me? Like she's not sure yet what he's going to tell. But
Mhm.
basically she's there to find the book to try to use. Oh my God, Kate.
I know. I was
We
like,
did
you
it
just
again.
skipped
We skipped the Weaver.
The Weaver.
Okay, before they go to summer court, Reese is like, we need to test and see.
You were just saying that, and I was like, wait, because like calling to like, and then I
know,
was
I
also like, I
know.
remember it went like bone carver, sister's house, Weaver, summer court.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Weaver is
Weaver is
even before the
awesome.
sister's house. I think the Weaver was
It's somewhere
before.
in there. That's
But
okay.
both of them, because she forgot to fight for both. So okay, so the Weaver, he brings her. He's like, we need to test this. I have a test. There's this Weaver is wearing her mind. She's got an item of mine. He doesn't tell her what it is. He's like, you need to go in and retrieve it and test and see if you can do this. And at first, even Cassian is like, no, this is a bad idea. Like, do not send her in there. And he's like, no, she can do it. She needs to test. And he's like, she's blind and deaf. Just go touch the ring only, make no other sound, and like you'll be fine. So she goes to this cottage. Inside, she sees this woman with like long black hair sitting at this like weaving away and singing this like ethereal song. And she sees her face. It's like this void mass with like black eyes and this super old beyond age face. But the rest of her body's like flawless, but this face is this like terrifying thing. Yeah. She finds the ring. She gets it. She's about to leave. She takes 2 steps to leave. And all of a sudden the Weaver pauses and is like, who's in my cottage? What little mouse is in here? Panics, starts around the door, slams shut, the window slams shut. She can't leave. She bolts for the fireplace, is trying to get up the fireplace. The Weaver's like coming. She can see her. She gets wedged in. She throws a brick and hits the Weaver. Weaver screams. And then she remembers from the brick that she's strong and has power. And she's panicking, just trying to, she's like, I'm going to die here. I'm going to die here. Panicking. Remembers she's strong. Busts out. Hits Weaver, busts out of the chimney into like the thatched roof, which she realizes is hair and oil, like human innards, and is like disgusted. Comes off, runs, leaps into the tree, runs and finds Reese, who's like waiting for her, and was like, well, that's one way to do it. She's like, fuck you. What the hell was that? You fought like, she's like, I could have died. He's like, you didn't. Yeah. She's like, no, but I did. And that's when she realizes that she forgot. Like she forgot she could fight. And he's like, exactly, you forgot. It's like, here's your stupid fucking ring. Gives it back to him. And he's like, thank you. It's important to me. And puts it in the pocket. He's like, what is it anyways? And he's like, it was my mother. It was an heirloom from my mother. She gave it to me when I was a young boy and then took it away when I reached maturity and gave it to the Weaver. And she's like, why? And he just said, so I wouldn't waste it. And like, and that's it. And Lisa said that. They go back. They're all like, what happened? What did you let her do? Like with Cassian and them, they see the ring, give it a weird look. And he's like, all right, now we know she can figure out power. Essentially, like, sums it up into that. She can find power. So they decide that they're going to go to summer court. Back to the summer court. Now her goal is to do the same thing. Find the cauldron, the book of the cauldron, and see if she can use his power to, like, get it, essentially. Because if she pretended to be Reese's power to get the ring, she should be able to pretend to be the Summer High Lord to get the book.
Correct.
So they're there. They start meeting. There's like some questions. They're trying to feel each other out. The High Lord of the Summer kind of gets taken with Farrah. And they do have a true, genuine bond because he's actually a really good guy. He's lovely. He's gorgeous. He has like dreams. He's a dreamer. He wants a better world where High Fae and Lesser Fae are equal and that they don't have such stature. Like that's his dream. He kind of shares that with Farrah. And she appreciates it. And she says to him, like, I think you would be easy to love and even easier to call my friend. And he's the same. They kind of have this bond. And he agrees he's going to show her his treasures. She sees how the lock works. She sees all the treasures. He gives her a necklace. but the book's not there. So they keep working to like find out where. She sees this thing out in the sea on one of the days. She's like, she can feel power. And she's like, I think that's it. She asks at dinner that night. They start to like question them. Reese has been flirting away with the sister, the princess, who's his cousin. It's not his sister. It's his cousin, I think.
Cousin, something like that. But like Fair is not liking it.
No, they're very jealous. So she's been flirting with the High Lord. He's been flirting with her. And there's a lot of jealousy happening. And she's like not looking Reese in the eye anymore to like go look through it. Like she's fully jealous. He's like, brushing a hand against her shields, and she can feel that he feels the same kind of thing. And they finally call it out to each other. Like, what is happening? Why are you like, did you sleep with her? Did you mess? Because he disappeared with her off the boat when she was flirting with the High Lord. And he's like, no, like, do you think I like this? Like leading her on, but I need to keep her distracted so you can keep him distracted. Do what you want. She's like, you're jealous. And he's like, oh, I'm jealous that you smiled at him. I'm jealous that like it'd be easy to love him because I will not ever be easy to love. I will always put a target on who's ever with me. Like I'm not an easy lord for someone to fall in with. Summer's neutral, and I'm jealous of that. And of you. So they kind of like have this moment together, and they cheers each other without saying like to the dreamers and those that respond. So then they go to dinner that night. She asks about that place. He starts to get wary. And for the first time, she uses the, what is it called again?
Demati
powers.
The mind powers.
The mind powers to go into his brain and like coerce his thoughts to make them change. Like, she's my friend. She's just curious. She's been through a lot. We owe her everything because they do. They're alive because of her and everything she did under the mountain. But it's the first time she does it. And then she pulls out, and she can tell Reese is like appreciative that she did it and impressed, but also she's kind of like feeling super guilty about it. Like, feels gross. It feels gross to go into someone's mind and take advantage of them, even though it's for the greater good. And a big part of her is like, I think we could just ask him for the book and he would give it to us. And Reese also agrees, but then they're too worried about everyone else finding out about it and getting back to hybrids. Like, it's just not worth the risk for what this book represents.
Yeah.
But she appeases him. So they kind of have that connection. He's like, I never feel good about it either. Like, it never feels great to go into someone's mind. You just kind of get used to it, but it's never like, yay, I'm doing this now.
And
like,
he's also like, it's also not ever like the first recourse, It's not something you use lightly.
And that's him with everything in his power. He's the most powerful High Lord that's ever existed. But we learn Reese is cautious and aware of what that power costs and what it means. And uses it all with grave like reverence, which is another quality about him that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So they go to steal this book. They sneak in at night, like just doing it old school of like in the cover of night, going in to get it. They expect Amren to be able to protect her, and Reese is staying out so that he can take down any guards. They go in, they get through all the locks. It believes her until they get to the actual box, and they're like, who are you? And she's like, I am the High Lord of Summer. And it goes, it's like, liar. And then it like shuts down the powers. The water comes, they're going to die. The place nullifies their power. So like Amren can't use hers. She can't use hers. They're trying to get out. It seems like they're about to die when suddenly a water wave that comes back because I skipped it this time. Sorry.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. No.
The water wave saves her, pulls them to the tide, pulls them to the land. And Reese just lands. He's like, what did you guys do? Like, you set off every alarm possible. And they just like, she's like, where were you? And he winnows them away. And they're like, you were supposed to be there. He's like, that place nullified my powers. We almost drowned. And he's like, he's in shock. And he's like, I didn't feel it through the bond. She's like, well, it probably nullified. This is Amren's like, probably nullified that too, you idiot. Like, we basically just about died and you did nothing, is what she's saying to him. And he realized like the nullified power, he can't feel her, can't do anything. And she explains, Amren's like, why did that wraith save us? And she's like, well, back in the spring court, they did a teeth, which is a tax for all the people. And she had no money or gold, and Tamlin was going to punish her. And so I gave her my jewels.
It's called a tithe.
Tithe. I was trying to picture the word in my head. The tithe, right? It was IE. And she's like, and basically Tamlin was going to hurt her. And so I gave her my jewels, and she said they'd never forget it. And Amren just like laughs and was like, all that luck, thank the cauldron. Because like how anyone she says only an immortal with an immortal heart would ever help those horrible creatures, the waterways.
Yes.
So, like, you're the only person that ever would have done that. And that's how they survived this. So, and then they're laughing hysterically, and they fill in what happens. Basically, they got the book. Cauldron sees that it's like this ancient language that only Amren can read. And she's beside herself. And Reese is like, this is why I wanted you to come. And then at first they're mad that he didn't explain that to her. He's like, well, I hoped that it would also have a spell that would release you. from this human body and let you go back home one day. But I didn't want to get your hopes up, so I didn't
Yeah.
tell you. And so that settles, and they realize they need the other book to decode the first book, but they have it essentially. So Amren takes it away to work on decoding it. Rhys is like brooding and upset because he receives 3 rubies the next day from the Summer High Lord. That it means your death. So there's 3 huge rubies, one for Rhys, one for Farah, one for Amren. And Rhys upset him. He's like, I could have probably asked him. I got sloppy. I could have just not like wiped their minds. I didn't need to knock them out. Like, I made a mistake. And he's brooding. But Farah kind of sees that and sees that he's in pain and remembers how much she never gave up on her and never let her disappear. Because she's already realized he's the one that sent the music to her when she was in the cell. He kept visiting her. He kept her going. And so she tries to play with him too and uses flirting. And they kind of get flirtatious and into it. And she pulls him out of it. And he's like, okay, fine. And they talk about licking. And she's like, well, I hope you're better at licking than you were under the mountain because that was horrible. Basically, like, and they get talking about that. And he tells her he needs to go see. They need to go. They get word from the queens to go see them. They go to see the queens. The queens are like, nope, we're not giving you this book. And they're like, devastating. Like, how can you not give us the book? Like, your world's going to end. Give us this book. They're like, no. And they're like, well, we'll prove to you that this is like worth saving, that we can, because they're like, how would we know that you would have any power to even destroy the king? Like, how would we know to be on your side? And he's like, basically this side, they're going to show them Valaris. That's going to give them their word that like it's possible and that like good exists, and it just shows darkness in Printhia, but like fairies can be good, and they're going to do that by showing them Valaris, but they need to go get an orb first from the Night Court to show them this. So they agree to like re-meet with them in a few weeks. So they come back, they're going to go to the Night Court. Rhys tells Vera, like, listen, you're not going to like what you see. I'm going to be wearing this dark mask. Like, I have to be the king of nightmares, basically, when we go down there. And it's not me, and I don't want you to come. And she's like, I want to come. I'm not scared to see it. Like, just let me see it. So he tells her what her part she's going to play is. They go. She's dressed in like barely there, flimsy, kind of the outfit she had to wear back in the underground when he brought her up to dance for everyone under the mountain. Rags, like red lips, super sexy, her and Moore both. And then Rhys comes in, and it's the first time she sees that he's let the damper off his power. He's just full power, the most powerful High Lord there is. Everyone's on their hands and knees. He grabs her by the chin, like brings her up to his throne, sets her on his waist, and is just like teasing her and like tickling her and running his fingers up her thighs and around and under her breasts. And like they're being very sensual and purposeful to like keep Moore's dad, who runs a huge city, distracted while Az looks for the orb. Essentially, they're using this as a distraction. He's talking to him like, go get her some wine. And they're asking questions. And these two are flirting so heavily as part of the mask, like keeping them different, licking their necks, kissing, like, and then he like trails his finger. She feels that he's hard and rubs against it, and he trails his finger hard and then can feel her wetness because she's getting so turned on. And the whole time she's talking about not wanting him to like get too high because then he'll know that she's actually turned on and it's not part of the act. And it's such like a hot moment
it's
that
so
they're
hot.
back and forth. It's so hot. They just literally,
and we need it at this point too. Like
we need it, like, without getting sex yet between them, but because she's not quite ready. But like the teasing and the stroking at first, she's like, his hand is cold and flinch, and then he warms it and like apologizes, and the little like nips of the neck and the everything is this like slow,
it's very fun
build. It's super fun and hot.
It's so like we're in the Hewn City, we're in the Court of Nightmares. Like everything is like dark and sexy and bad, and it's just fucking hot. Like,
it's super hot. And then so when he does reach up and then actually feels her wetness, he like startles for a moment and then is like, it's fine. It's not, I know it's not real. It's just your body's response to it. She cuts it off and like covers it because she's a bit embarrassed for him to know, because she's still not quite, doesn't feel right moving on from Tamlin quite yet. Like she's torn. Yeah. Even though she's incredibly attracted to him and turned on, but like is torn by, but it's so hot. Okay. They leave there. They have the orb. They are, they have a big fight. He doesn't talk to her for a few days. She keeps writing to him and is like, come face me. Like, what is your problem? Because they call each other out on their fear. And she's like, we're friends. Like you, and he's like, I'm not treating you like him. Like you've got your freedom, but like, I will protect you. And she's like, you protect everyone. You hide your mask even from your best friends. Like you never, because you're so afraid if someone really knows the true you, like they'll leave you. And then what? Because everyone's always left Rhys. And he leaves for 3 days. It's like a big moment of the two of them kind of like having this argument. Comes back and like for the city of Starlight, and that's the night that all the shooting stars are going across the sky. It's the most beautiful night there. He reveals that like Amaranth made him like service her all night long every year during that time, and like how important it is. And they share that first moment of a true laugh together when they both get hit by the stars and he kisses her cheek, and it's their first moment of like open honesty.
And they both, and he reveals his sort of like his trauma and his weakness to her, and they're helping one another together. Like, instead of being down at the big party event, they're
Yeah.
up on their own. And it's a really beautiful, like, bonding moment.
Yes, it's a beautiful moment for them. It's really the
Yeah.
start of something new for them. They've like
Yeah.
building, they had it out, and now they're like building into something.
Yeah.
They go to the Illyrian war camp, which is what Azriel and Rhys and Casey and all are. It's where they met. We had the story that they were all three. Azriel, Rhys was there with his mother. Cassian was an orphan, and Azriel was rescued from his father and stepmother, who all just like tortured him. And the three of them bound together, hated each other, but were the toughest, and then became like a force to be reckoned with. The three of them. That's where they built it up. They go there because they're going to train Farah how to use her stuff. And like they want to go to a mountain with the forest where she can't hurt anyone and no one will see her training her powers.
Mm-hmm.
They go to do that. That's when Lucien comes across them, tries to steal Farah with winnowing, and she has it out with him. He's like, you have to come back. Tamlin's not the same. Like, he needs you. We need you, please. She's like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm happy. Leave me. And he's like, they've broken your mind because they know about the mind powers. Like, Lucien's convinced. Like, they've told you this is the place. Like, you have to come back. They disappear. They don't get to take them back. But it, like, sets something in motion with Lucien and Tamlin because he's convinced that Farah now has been brainwashed and thinks she wants to be part of the city. So she's already written the letter. All of that's happened. Yeah. They go to do this. They stay in this inn by the Illyrians because she's like, doesn't want to camp in the outside freezing cold. And they have this small bed. Yeah. And this is when they have their first intimate moment. Basically, he pleasures her.
Would we ever get together in romanticize if it weren't for the inn in the woods with the single bed?
The forced proximity. we need the forced proximity to happen.
We need it.
And that happens.
Yeah.
And he talked about earlier, like a couple chapters before, about wings and how he's never had his wings out during sex and how sensitive they are. And a man, Illyria can come from like the right touching of wings, essentially. Yeah. And she's like, oh, have you? And he's like, I've never let them be out with sex or anything else. I've never given anyone that trust. And in this case, he does have them out. He has them out on this small bed. They're in his form because he wants to be able to protect her. She plays them a bit. He plays with her. They can't have sex because it's too small, but she allows him. They finally allow each other to have that moment and that intimacy.
It's our foreplay.
It's our foreplay. It's a very hot foreplay. Yeah. Because right after this, they're flying and they get attacked by this unknown again, attacked with ash arrows. Someone takes down Rhys and her and they get severed and he gets captured and she's trying to find him. Finds him. He's chained up and captured and she doesn't know how to save him. So she goes and snares Sorrel. Again, the same Sorrel. Gets him snared. And he reveals to her that Rhys is her mate. Yeah. And that he's the High Lord that he was talking about when he said, go be with the High Lord, stay with the High Lord, all will be well. It wasn't Tamlin. Yeah. It was Rhys. And she is like pissed because as we talked about before, all these men always keeping the fact that they're their mate from the mate, which it's so annoying. Even I understand in this case specifically why he did. But
I get it. But it's always like, I don't know. Again, it just, it just feels like, oh, you like helpless little woman, you can't handle the truth, And the whole time she's like, I just want the truth from everybody. And again, I totally get it. I get why. And for the story's sake and everything, it has to go this way.
Yes.
That he doesn't. And I do understand where he's coming from because, again, he is still trying to protect her, and not in the way that Tamlin necessarily was because he's let her in on so much else. He's trying to not make her feel forced to be with him.
Yeah, he didn't want to take away a choice or make her feel overwhelmed. He wanted her to get there on his own. I get that. But I do get it. Yeah. So she
but I get her side too. Like she's right.
She has to go find some flowers. She brings them. It cuts him down. He's got chains to his wings. They're shredded. He's barely alive. She shoves the like flowers into his mouth and gives him some of her blood from her wrist, and it like helps heal him. And does it. And he's finally like, fair. And then she's like, "Okay, you're better. Good, cool." And like gets her. I was like, "Winnow us out of here." It takes them back to the Illyrian camp, and he's like trying to call her name because he's still in shock. And she's like, "You lied to me. Like you." Lied to me. This is like my number one boundary, which most people really for her, the betrayal, like gets him back alive and is like, fuck you. Goes right to Moore and is like, get me out of here. And Moore takes her to this cabin, another cabin, but their log cabin that we find out later, like their cottage, and sets her up in there and it has all the like food and things she could want. And she's like, don't tell him here. Tell no one. Like, just let me be. And she's like, okay, I understand you're angry. No one will bug you, but like, take your time. And it's the first time she has felt like painting. She's had images and flashes with moments of being like, I want to paint this. I want to paint you. I want to paint. And she did on the Starlight Night, actually. She grabbed some of the like luminescent splatter of the stars and like painted on Reese's hand, which was her first moment of painting, which was this big moment between that like
Mhm.
intimacy of them. Anyway, so she starts painting, eating. 2 days later, Moore comes back and is like, couldn't you like, he's going out of his mind. Like, can you talk to him? Can I bring him? She's like, no, I'm not ready yet. He deserves it. And is like laughing at painting. She's like, okay, take your time.
Yeah.
But like also understand like he's a good male. Like he's
Yeah.
done everything for everyone, would do anything for you. Like don't, be hard on him, make him pay for it, but also like give him a chance, essentially. Laura's there to like say that to her. And then the next day, Reese arrives, like has a feeling, and she lets him come in. And he's like, I've been looking for you. I've been searching and hiking through, and Moore finally told me. And he comes, she's like, do you want me to warm you up some soup? And he's like, you would do that? And he explains that that's like a big thing between mates. It means you accept the bond. And she's like, start talking and we'll see how I feel by the time you're done talking.
Yeah.
And he explains how like he had dreamt of her. That's why he was at Calamari. He didn't know that she was his mate yet, but like he dreamt of a woman, knew that, saw her paintings, her stars, like knew something was there, saw her that night and had told himself like that would be enough. He just needed to see her once. And then when he saw her in Tamlin's dining room, he knew like that was it, needed to get her out of there. That's part of why he told Tamlin like that would have worked, and to like send her off to the humans. Again, didn't know that it was soulmate, but was someone important. He wasn't quite sure.
Yeah.
And then underneath he had the bond, and he could feel the bond and thought it might be, but wasn't till she was leaving, that time when he left her, when they said their final goodbye, that the bond actually like snapped into place. That's why he looked so shocked. He realized it was her. Like she was his mate. And after that, then he swore to himself, like, that's why he didn't contact her for 3 months. He was reeling from it. He ran into Moore and was like, it's her. I found my mate. Like, and he's like, if she's happy after everything she went through under the mountain with Tamlin, like, I will let her be. I won't call in the bond. But he was like checking on her and feeling it. He even on the day of her wedding, like was rip roaring drunk, like just again, convincing himself if she was happy, then he would be happy for her, because originally made the bond to taunt Tamlin. He didn't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then he felt her call through the bond and like, anyone save me from this marriage, calling out for help, rescue me. That's why he went and got her. And then from then on, everything that happened after. But like, yes, she is his mate. He's obsessed. He's there for her. She realizes that she feels it too, and how much love and everything he's done for her, and how different it is than Tamlin and what he has sacrificed for her. And she lets the bond snap into place for her. And then Kate, 1 hour into this, finally,
finally,
these books need long episodes. There's so much that happens. Finally, we get the spice. And do we get the spice?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Court.
Yes.
Now it's time. Okay. We didn't do our pumpkin spice meter for book 1, ACOTAR.
No.
So quickly,
no, we can do that.
Where does that one land for you?
That's a 3.5. A 3.5.
Book 1.
Book 1 is the 3.5 with her and Tamlin when they get there. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
you're
not.
right.
It's not this, but it is sexy and hot. Like
it is super sexy. Yeah, I would give it a 3. Yeah. Now, book 2, Court of Mist and Fury.
But wait. If you're giving it a 3, if you look at like In Your Dreams, which was a 3, because it is open door sex, it's like a step past.
Oh,
that.
then I guess it is a 3.5, because it is hotter than that. It is hotter than that. That's true.
Yeah,
but it takes a long time to get there.
It does. Okay. It's a very short, very quick 3.5, but it happens.
This one, thankfully, this book, you have some sex right away with Tamlin. So you you get something right, which is hot. It's still hot. It's still hot at that point.
It's true.
And then, we do all this building, which you're talking, and then we get some foreplay with Reese, and we're ready for it at that point.
Great foreplay.
And it's really great foreplay, and we're really enjoying it. And now, finally, at the cabin, which, all we want to do now is go to cabins and cottages. Let's face it.
Well, yes, we're still in that heated rivalry going to the cottage world where all the hottest sex happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently that's just a thing. Because now we have like the hottest sex. It is
my God.
So good because it's true mates having sex, which is a big deal.
Mated face sex is insane.
Insane. It is so fucking hot. This is when, for real, the like everybody freaking out about it, but like the smutty fairy books thing, and I'm reading this and I'm like, here we fucking go.
Yeah, this is
what people are talking about.
Wings out, feasts on her, like eating her out like there's no tomorrow, with descriptors beyond just that part, like spreading the table and was like, I promise I would eat you on this. Like all these, no. He says he wants to, but he like takes her on all the walls. Every surface of this cabin, they're having sex. He needs no recovery because he's fey male. She needs no recovery because she's fey female. The vagina can just like keep going. There's no UTIs. Like it is just gorgeous, hot, steamy. never ending.
It is amazing. It is
and the
so worth the
bond
wait.
brings out the new one is
Like
newly
more
bonded.
layers.
So many layers. They can hear each other. They can feel each other, and the need. It's the same that like when you're in the honeymoon phase at first, when you first only get with someone, like that desire, that carnal, like, and then you still have it, but it's different at first. Like you just can't get enough. That can't get enough, combined with magical powers, just makes the most passionate, steamy sex scenes so worth it. And she built such a tantalizing like foreplay lead up to it with them and their emotions. Like it's done so well, which is why it's so yummy. Like it's smut, but it's like deserved. You've been on this trip with them. You've been on this ride, and when you get there, like yes, for them, for you, for everything. This is when you don't want anyone interrupting you, when you don't want anyone knocking on the door. You just like want to be in this world with them. You've worked for it. You've worked for it too. And now you're there.
All right, so court.
Yes. We
Spice
got
meter
here.
on this
We got
one.
to the spice
I know.
meter, which is
Spice meter,
amazing. I will put it at 4. 4.5. It's pretty hot, all their sex. Like it's
all of it, like in the whole, it's pretty hot. 4 to 4.5, somewhere in there is where it lands.
It gets in that full,
this is, like I said,
spice meter.
this is where these books really earn it's in this part, like where it really starts to earn its like spicy, smutty face.
Yeah, the fairy porn that everyone calls it. Like this is what they're
Yeah.
talking about, which I love and I'm here for. And this only brings us to part 3 of this book, which I think is a good spot for us to like, we don't want to keep you here forever. You can come back and hear the last bit of this.
Yes.
When we talk about
so
the
that's
next
what
book.
we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We are going to wrap up this episode on A Court of Mist and Fury. And we are going to start the next episode with finishing up the last section of Court of Mist and Fury, which because it's big. There's a lot that happens
really
in
big
there, and
book.
we don't want to rush it.
Yes.
And then we are also going to do A Court of Wings and Ruin. And as much happens in A Court of Wings and Ruin, it's more of a war book. So, and we're here more for this month. So we're
it's just, we can just combine it together. The end of this really launches you into that book. So we'll do it together.
Yeah.
And don't worry, there's still lots of joy and smut in it too. There's just also
a
big war. But to be continued. We will fill you in on that on the next one.
So one thing I do want to say before we finish on this one is that this one, so the first one, Beauty and the Beast, and this one is the Greek mythology myth of Persephone, of Hades and Persephone, and how Hades basically sort of like lures Persephone into the underworld, and then Demeter begs for her to be let out, and that's why we have Spring, essentially. Demeter is Persephone's mom, and but then Hades like has her eat like a piece of pomegranate, so then she's always has to go back at some point to the underworld with Hades. And that's kind of like the deal that Resend has made with Feyre, like at the beginning of this book. And she's with Tamlin, and that whole thing and that whole parallel, and the fact that we all kind of know that myth in our brain is where you start this book and you do see Resend as like Hades or as the devil or as this like really bad person. And I think now then, we go through this whole journey to here, and suddenly you're like, wait, he's not just a bad guy. Like, or Tamlin was the bad guy and he's the good guy. And I love that flip that happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how everybody always jokes about like, are you team Tamlin, or clearly you haven't read further?
Yes. No one's team Tamlin by the end of this book, which you will know. And even the last part that happens cements that. Like even at this point, if you're on the fence, it'll be cemented, which we will.
I don't know how you're on the fence at this point, but especially after their like cabin sex adventure.
It's true.
I mean, it's
at this point you are team Reese.
Yeah. Just take the best sex, like just that alone.
That's in the romantasy romance world. That's whoever's the best sex.
Whoever's the best sex, and you usually like you think you're getting great sex from like the first guy or whatever, and then this other dude shows up and you're like, turns out
I was wrong. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, in romantasy, and I think in life too.
You can have good sex with guys that aren't going to be the long-term partner in real life.
Yeah.
That doesn't, but, I think in real life, I mean, it needs to be there for the ones that you say yes to for the partner, for sure. It's super important.
Exactly.
But I do think you can get, that without the rest being there as well.
You can.
But
I'm just
not
saying.
mate level. Not mate level.
Not mate level. Not mate
Yeah.
level. It's a different
Yeah.
thing. All right. On that note, that is it for
Yes.
today's episode of Kate and Court's Cozy Corner. We will be back part 3. Or okay, you're doing it thirds. And then I was also going to say, and then book 3.
And book
A
3.
Court
Both
of Wings
things.
and
Yes.
Ruin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, in the book, it's actually called part 3. That's a
Right.
Yeah.
Either
Then we'll
way,
be back.
there's more. We're
Yeah.
not done with ACOTAR yet.
No.
There's a reason we're doing it for January, because then you have all year, and this sets the base.
Yeah.
This sets the romanticy base for us.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Kate and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
Thanks for tuning in to Kate and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Readers.
Executive producers and hosts, Caitlin Stryker and Courtney Richter. Producer, Kanesha No. Original music, Cassie DeSilva.